Hello guys, Mr. ETC once again for another idea of housing. And as you can see here, today we are going to set up for spring. In today's video, I will be making this minimalist shelf that will go directly on the creative wall divider I've made 2 weeks ago. And all this only at my ETC TV. And here is the space we're gonna be working on. It will be made from 5 pieces of lumber joined together side to side in order to give you a simple and minimalist shelf. Note that those pieces of lumber here are just leftover I had after making the creative wall divider. Here, I'm looking at the best way to create this design. First, by sliding the wood in the parallel gaps I've created to insert them. As you know, I'm refurbishing as much as possible, so that was the perfect opportunity for me to use this leftover. As I was showing you before, here I will be tracing the lines in order to create the gaps to insert the first layer. Then all the other one that will be used in order to create the design. As usual, I'm not providing too much details here, but I will be providing a free plan if you would like to make it yourself. And as usual, back for the cut to my favorite meter saw. And when the 2 side panels has been cut, time to move for the measurements of the middle ones. Here I've decided to use a very simple design, you know. I didn't want to give them all the same measurements because the wall divider itself is a little bit fancy, so I wanted to adapt to that. As you can imagine, to create the gap for the first slat, I will advise you to use a jigsaw, which will make things easier. Then here we are, it's going straight into it. Taking this first view is helping me to see how I'm gonna attach them all together. But before that, I've decided to cut a little bit the edges at 20 degrees. So moving again to my meter saw with each slat, then set up my meter saw with a 20-degree angle. Then making the cut one after the other on each slat. Then here we are. Looking good, huh? And to attach them together, I will be using the last piece and screw it at the bottom. But before that, aligning it also with the 20-degree angle on each side. And when you put it in place, you can really see that it's acting like a block to avoid that the shelf itself slides away. Okay, now time for the final mounting stage. And in order to fix from the back, you just have to recreate the design upside down. Make sure everything is aligned and start taking your marks to know exactly where you need to insert the screws. As always, I will advise you to pre-drill before inserting the screws. Then insert the screws, of course long enough to make sure it's going deep enough to give you a nice and solid design. Et voila! Almost done. Last try before painting. And before applying some paint, I will be sanding a little bit with the 80 grit sandpaper. And of course, as you can imagine, in order to match with the entire design, I will be painting it in white. Haha, all ready to go. Look at this, beautiful. Adding some spring plants, and here we are. That was it for today, guys. I hope that you like it. If it's the case, as usual, let me know in the comments below. And note that I won't be available next week, so I will see you again next time in 2 weeks. Mr. ETC for another year of housing. Bye.